it's fall. What fall projects do you have planned for this year?
One of the things that I'm thinking about doing is how I can incorporate some spring flowering bulbs into our landscape. Right now, the garden centers are chock full of options. We can buy for best selection, but we want to make sure that we wait until the soil temperature gets below 60 before we plant. So what are some of your favorite bulbs you like to plant, Mary Jane?
I love some of the minor bulbs. One of my favorites is snowdrops. They bloom real early. They're one of the first ones to bloom. They can handle the snow load. They just push on through. And since they're from Europe, the European honeybee will forage on them when the temperatures are in the 40s in February and March. One of my other favorites is Scilla. Wow, what a bright blue, beautiful bulb. They're really neat in mass plantings and they naturalize. So they're one that's really nice to have. Something else that's really unique is the checkered lily. Man, that is just a gorgeous flower. Great in group plantings, and just an amazing color scheme on those beautiful lilies. The other one I really like is snow glories. Really pretty little flowers, pink, white, and blue. Great to have. So when we're planting bulbs, does it matter what depth? Is it all the same when you're planting them?
That is a really good question. The general rule of thumb when we're planting our bulbs is we want to stick them in the ground 2 to 3 times as deep as they are tall. So if we have a 3-inch size bulb, we're going to plant it between 6 and 9 inches deep. One of the best tips I can tell you is if you have a lot of bulbs to plant is to get a bulb auger. It sticks on the end of your drill so that way you can dig those holes quicker. Mary Jane, how can people extend the season of the flowers in the spring? Do all the bulbs flower at the same time?
No, they don't. Some will bloom real early, some in the middle of the spring, and some late spring. So it's really good to maybe put it down on paper what your plan is if you're doing a big planting, and then you can have them all bloom at once, or maybe in a wave, some early, some mid, some late, so you always have something blooming during the spring. But put it down on paper and draw it out before you start planting.
And one of the questions we get asked quite often is how do we stop the squirrels from digging up those bulbs? And one of the things that we could do is put some chicken wire on top of the ground or hardware cloth, but we need to make sure that we take it off of the ground before those bulbs start to peek through the ground. So that might be late winter or early spring.
That's a great idea. You'd hate to have all your work be messed up by squirrels coming in and digging them up. Well, it looks like we've got a great plan. We'll purchase our bulbs. We can get them locally or we can order online through catalogs and get them planted, and then we'll have beautiful flowers next spring.